You see everybody dropping in slowly. Lovely to see you. Oh, and more. I believe in this meeting you can actually unmute yourselves. We'll test that in just a minute. Are you unmute?
Okay. Yep. We certainly can.
Excellent. So this is very much a live Q&A for you to, we have no presentations or anything. This is very much a session, it's a 30-minute session for you to ask any questions that you may have about ANLP, ANLP membership, and really that's kind of the topic. So does anybody have any questions, or is this going to be a really short session? Oh, Roland.
Hello from Sweden.
Hello from Sweden.
Yeah, and even southern part of Sweden, Helsingborg. My question is, what's the difference between INLPTA and ANLP as an organization?
As I said, they're different organisations for starters.
Yes.
Anlp is a certifying body, so they are mainly in the they mainly support Anlp. We have a very good relationship with Anlp. We work with them on a number of projects, as we do with IN Institutes and IANLP. All three organisations are based in Europe. And Anlp especially, or specifically, they do a lot of work around supporting, providing standards for training, providing standards for prac, master prac and trainers training, very high standards. So we work alongside them. We kind of more represent NLP professionals, if you like. Those people, once they've qualified, whoever they qualify with, we're there to encourage the professionalism in the field. And Anlp are there, one of the certifying bodies that supports standards within the field. Okay,
thank you. Because back in end of October, I got my practitioner certificate from INLPTA in Stockholm, from a company called Coach to Coach. So thank you for your answer.
No, my pleasure. Actually, Roland has very delightfully demonstrated that actually the best way to ask questions in a large group would be if you raise your hand, use the raise hand facility, which you'll either find in reactions or under participants, because then we can ensure that we see you. We can't see many of you at all at the moment. There's lots of videos turned off. So being quite a visual person myself, it'd be lovely to see you. But please do ask your questions. Pedro, a question for us.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, I want to know what's the advantages to be a member of the ANLP?
It very much depends on what you might be interested in. I remember sitting around a table with a number of people once who asked that very same question. And I started off by saying, well, we provide credibility by providing a member's logo. And one person got excited and the rest were just not really very excited by that. And then it was, and we have a number of discounts available, and somebody else got excited. So it's very much what depends on what you're looking for. I suppose what we could say is that our benefits fall roughly into 5 categories. So we do provide credibility, and that credibility includes our code of ethics, it includes our complaints process, it includes us providing a safety net of sorts for your potential clients. Meeting them in their map of the world, because anything they do with an NLP professional, it is an investment of time and money for them. So they want to know that their backs are covered. We do provide a number of promotional marketing resources for you. So you have a profile on our website if you're a professional member or above. You do get the logo if that excites you, and you also get a certificate. We also work with professionalism in the field. So we've recently introduced a we've recently introduced a professional standards module to the website, so you can actually demonstrate your ongoing professionalism in the field by logging your CPD, logging your coaching hours and things like that, supervision if you're undertaking supervision, and that enables you to get either a bronze, silver or gold standard for professionalism, for professional standards, and that gets logged on your profile for the public to see, and also you get another certificate for that, and that's renewable every year as a member. We do provide accreditation for trainers, so we have a peer review panel who will, if you're interested, review your trainings, and then you can become accredited, as some of the people on this this chat today. What else do we do? Nina, Amanda, you're part. Shannon, you're part of the team. What else do we do? Oh, we do a lot of community stuff. Magazine.
Run this conference.
Yeah.
We host the conference. We host the awards. We do print report, which delegates will have received a copy, because in the absence of goodie bags this year, we did send everybody a copy of rapport instead. It would have been in your goodie bag had you had one. We also actually do have, looking at Amanda, because I know Amanda will be saying, one of the things we do is we support community. So especially since, I mean, we've always supported practice groups, but especially since the pandemic kicked in, we started doing a number of community initiatives, including things like we've got resources on our website provided by our members to support the NLP community and beyond, to support key workers, and that sort of thing, and they're all resources provided by the community. We also started regular community meetings like this, so we have a regular members meeting once a week on a Monday evening, and we have a trainers and accredited trainers meeting on a once a month on a Thursday morning, and then we have an open Q&A session like this once a month that we run on Facebook Live as well, simultaneously, and that's open to everybody, whether or not they're members.
And there's the Facebook members group for,
and there's various groups as well.
for chats, and you know, if you've got a query, you just want to perhaps pick the brains of your your colleagues, you can do that on the Facebook members group.
Okay. It seems a lot, and this conference is very, very good. My drama is to choose what masterclass I assist. So I give you the congratulations about this conference, because it's amazing. It's my first time here.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you here. Where are you based, Pedro?
I'm in Lisbon.
Oh, right. Okay, Portugal. How lovely. So that's fantastic. Who else has come from far afield? Who's the furthest away? I wonder. Michael, I know you're in Ireland. Anybody else like to volunteer where they're joining us from? Everybody's very quiet.
They are.
Well, if you go west, I'm in Greenwich, so you know, you take the longest amount to get back to you. Does that count?
That counts. Probably does. So in the absence of anybody wishing to volunteer where they are.
Oh, there we are, Northern Ireland. We've got Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, excellent. And I know Ed Gray is in the Isle of Wight. I don't know, Bristol, there you go. Caroline's in Bristol. So
Leicester.
Again, I think Bernie Rogers, I think, is in Ireland somewhere as well.
Waterford.
Is that in Ireland?
Yeah.
I didn't do very well in geography.
Bernie praise for the furthest in Ireland.
I'm having a proper competition now. So
Ed's on the Isle of Wight. It's like being back in the 1970s. So surely that counts as furthest away.
It's about
You know, I'm joking, Ed.
How rude.
You're not wrong, Andy. It's about 1972 over here.
be getting the internet soon, Ed.
The what? The what?
You'll be getting the internet soon.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else we can assist with in terms of ANLP membership? We may be able to answer conference queries, although I suspect we're a bit frazzled, but we do have a couple of our ambassadors here who are also working with us this weekend as hosts, tech assistants. So we're very lucky. We're blessed with a number of helpful people on this call.
Okay, can I just sort of say one other thing here about, the questions around ANLP membership? For me, it's always been about just for all the specific stuff that you were talking about, Karen. The other thing is that for me, it's just sometimes many of us run our own businesses. Sometimes it can be quite isolating, but so it just gives me the sense in the background that there's a connection, there's a community, and all the good work around standards. One of the sort of big mantras of ANLP is around good NLP, what that really looks like, and for me, part of that is around the connections that we have. It was almost like a sort of family. So for those of you who need to know more about that, I think for me, it's just about that comfort that there is a bunch of people who for sure come from different schools and different trainings and different attitudes and belief sets, and yet there's a sense of community that you can have, the sense of belonging, which is just quite reassuring if you're working on your own.
Thank you, Ed.
Absolutely. I've been taking your name in vain again this morning. Sorry, Karen.
Me
session.
Personally, or ANLP?
You and ANLP, I have to say, it's nothing you haven't heard before, but we're not a profession without a professional body. And you're the place that brings us all together. And you have done an amazing job. You, Cash, the whole team in ANLP have done a fantastic job in doing that. And a lot of the stuff that we have done, the mad stuff we have done, your support and being there and knowing you were all there and being able to put me in contact with other people and people who knew what they were doing as opposed to me blundering along. That's been enormously helpful. It's been such a big thing for us. And just as Edward has just said, we're in the north and we're in the south, and we have and that connection, that feeling that we're connected to something that's much bigger than us, that makes a huge difference.
Thank you. And I'll just say, Michael came to us with an idea a couple of years ago, and we sometimes find ourselves in a position where lots of people have ideas about what we should be doing, and quite often then have the brilliant idea and then walk away and leave us to miraculously change the world or whatever it is that we'd love to be able to do if we had the resources, as everybody would. And Michael came to us with a project, and we sort of went, behind the scenes, we went, oh, another one. Michael took 99.9% of the responsibility for this project, and you've done a couple of these now, Michael. You just wanted ANLP to endorse what it was you were doing, and Michael put everything together. We literally glanced through it. We've had various meetings, but as a result of Michael taking that lead, Michael, explain a little bit about the NISC project, so the Northern Ireland project that happened at the beginning of the pandemic, the award-winning NISC project.
I've lost the words.
Sorry, put you on spot there.
But that NLP thing apparently is supposed to be very good for that sort of thing. At the start of the pandemic, the Social Care Council just asked us if we could put together some resources for resilience and wellbeing, just to support the social care workforce. And myself and Lynn McKeown and Leanne McCafferty and lots of brilliant people kind of come up with some ideas. We put it together. I have to say, Karen, you were amazing. So was Cash. So was the whole ANLP team. We had the brilliant Sam Powell, who was there to help us and give us some advice on from a GP perspective. We put together the resource. We put it online. We had 2 weeks to do it, by the way. I probably should mention that. It was kind of, can you help us? Great. The Department of Health said we've got 2 weeks. So we put it together, and over the space of 3 months, 3,500 people accessed it.
Wow.
Ended up in December. It ended up, along with NESC and their partners, it ended up winning the Outstanding Team Award at the European Social Services Award. And it's the first time a public service in Northern Ireland has won a European award. So everybody's delighted. But part of that, it was a vote. It was a public vote. Was part of the voting system. And again, you were there as a professional body to add weight and credibility to what we were doing. And I know lots of people from ANLP and from NLP backgrounds voted for us, so that was huge. The other thing I probably should say, and I don't know whether, from a credibility point of view, from the field point of view, what essentially happened with the award was every social care regulator in Europe looked at this resource and went, yes, that's what we need. And I think that's huge. And it's not us, it's as a field, if that makes sense. The fact that ANLP were involved, it's a brilliant example of the kind of difference we can make with the stuff that we do. And when we all come together and when we work and when we collaborate, and it doesn't have to be fighting with the system. We can become part of that because there's lots of stuff that we do that makes such a difference. But as I say, with the award, what has effectively happened there is that social care regulators who make the final decision on it looked at NLP stuff, and it's all, it's a well-formed outcome, and it's rapport, and it's beliefs, and it's all the stuff that we know. It's nothing mind-blowing. But they looked at it and they went, yeah, this is the kind of stuff we really need to help the social care workforce. And, having the professional body back in that and putting us in touch with people, and the social media, by the way, you're amazing on social media, I have to say, with it too. That was huge. And it was so big for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
We have Shannon to thank for our social media, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So please, that's enough about us. How can we assist with thank you, Michael. It's lovely. It's, as I said to you earlier in the week when you sent us a very, very kind and generous email, the reason we exist is for people like you, for everybody on this screen, and beyond, because it's the good work that you are doing out there that we just sit there in support of. Our leadership model is not a triangle like that where we sit above everybody else telling everybody what to do. NLP isn't about that sort of thing. NLP is all about flexibility. So our leadership model is actually that way around. And ANLP sits at the bottom, acting as a support structure for the trainers, for the professionals, so that you can be the ones that go out there and make the big difference, because NLP can make a huge difference in society. That's what we all know. So we play a very small part at the bottom in supporting all of you to be able to do what you do. And that's what we're here for, to be in service to the NLP community. So what other questions do you have for us? I silenced everyone. I'm so sorry. Anything? Neely?
I don't have a question. I just, Shannon invited me I was corresponding with her on email to say hello. So I'm here to say hello and also benefit from this communal gathering and hearing about what everybody's doing and listening to what other people have to ask. So that's all I wanted to say before you close it up.
Thank you, Neely. Come along to one of our Monday evening sessions, because they can be very entertaining, very serious, and it's become a bit of a book club where we're recommending books to each other, good NLP books to read and good not so NLP books to read. But that's very much where community takes place once a week. We had a very light-hearted session last week where we were playing with all the Facebook filter, the Zoom filters. I think we needed a bit of light relief before the conference started. And we all learned something new.
Yeah.
So Roland, you have a question for us?
Yes. Since I like you being
I can't hear you very well.
okay, can you hear me now?
You sound a bit like a Dalek if you recognise or know Doctor Who. Oh, please say we will exterminate.
Sounds so better now.
You sounded fine before when we spoke to you, so I don't know what's changed.
I think something you just have that is gonna be strange. So maybe I have to examine myself.
If your question is short, we'll probably be able to decipher it.
He could put, Roland,
Oh.
Can you put it in the chat? Can you put your question in the chat?
Is it better now? Because
Yes.
Yes.
That's 100 times better.
sounds good. The thing is, I'm quite new to being a part of a NLP community, and like I said before, I'm just starting up as a autism coach.
Wonderful.
And my question is, all you who's been working as NLP coaches for much longer than me, how is your experience with helping people with neurodiversity?
I think we have someone on the call who can help with that, don't we, Caroline?
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Roland. Yeah, that's my speciality, autism. I do use other modalities as well, but I do work with adults with a diagnosis and without a diagnosis. And I find just generally, I think, that sometimes it's trying to access or help the person to access their connections with their, if you like, submodalities and things, and being able to verbally express those, and then adapting that and doing it non-verbally. So watching the facial expression and the body language and working with that, reducing language, speaking slower for the auditory processing and the visual understanding. And doing somatic work. And sometimes also waiting is really important, longer and longer than you normally would. So there's a is it I'm just trying to think of the right word. My words have gone out my head. So there's
sorry.
If you think of particularly one of the very first things I learned, because my daughter was diagnosed with autism at age 2, and ticked all the boxes for classic autism, non-verbal, hand flapping, hypersensitive, everything you can think of. So at a very early time, there wasn't an awful lot of help around in the 90s. And the very first workshop or program that my husband and I went on was a Canadian-based program called the Hannon program. So I have to give it the credit while I'm going to explain what I'm going to explain next.
Can I just, sorry, Caroline, to interrupt just for a second. We've only got 4 minutes left on this session and we have to jump off in order for the next stream to start. So right. What I suggest is that the two of you connect, which you can obviously do via the Hoover app. If you direct message each other, this is a conversation that you definitely could carry on. And if you wanted to set up a virtual meetup for this, it's something that I'd be very interested in attending as well, because my son's on the autistic spectrum, and NLP has made such a huge difference to the way that we've worked with him over the years. So it may be that would be a really good opportunity to do a virtual meetup. And remember, the virtual meetups don't stop on Sunday evening when the conference ends. You can set up virtual meetups over the next 6 months. So it might be, my suggestion would be do it after the conference, because there's so much going on this weekend. People, I think, are a bit overwhelmed. So if you were to set something up in the next week or two, then I'm sure there would be other people apart from the three of us that might be interested in that. So and do, you know, for the rest of you as well, if there are specific applications of NLP that you're specifically interested in, then do take advantage of the conference facilities and set up a virtual meetup within the Hoover app where you know, you've got this facility for the next 6 months. It's an amazing opportunity to explore those niche elements of NLP where the applications are just, you know, that's where NLP makes a difference. It's about applying it to anything, really. That's the point. NLP can be applied to anything. So autism is a very powerful application where NLP can make a difference, and all the things that you are working with, social care, all the things that you're working with, you know, I don't know what all of you do, but I know what some of you do on this you know, on this call, and they're all very powerful applications where NLP makes such a huge difference. So I know we're going to get thrown out in a minute if I don't if I don't close the meeting, because the next one is, in fact, I believe at 14:30 we have the first of the NLP awards coming up, the NLP Award for Business. So so do join that session. We've got NLP and education after that, and then healthcare and public service tomorrow. So do join those sessions as well. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate seeing you. And let's start some more meetups. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the
Thank
awards.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.